Okay, so let's get into this. We are on the 11th of Aukesh. It's a Hazel spell, which is sort of autumn equivalent season. Um, one day before the Fell Nights. It's a holiday is a bit of a strong word, but it's a period of time where magic gets heightened. People experience horrible nightmares, all because the two moons are both in the new phase at once during this most magical of months. In much of Dolrast, where our adventures are being held, general distrust of magic means that this holiday is comes with it fear, and lots of folk choose to stay awake through the night so as to not experience these nightmares. Cover their homes with protective charms and wards to hopefully keep the evil at bay. So I have a question for all of you.
I'm ready.
Well, first question for our two new characters. As members of the Seekers of the Jade Oath, is this the first contract that your character has gone on for them, or have you done others prior?
This would have been Lornak's first.
Gabatha does not know that she's on a mission. She was sent into town to buy knitting needles and is just here because you all seemed pretty nice.
Okay, so this is maybe a sort of recruitment setup for Gabatha. But that leads nicely into the this next question, which is so the events that this contract is about. Sort of the setting for this is the city of Clawford, which is in northern Dolrast. It's a burgeoning city for the arts. It's especially well known for performances and other practices during the Fell Nights. So are any of the rest of the group in town already, or are you going to be coming from Kaedwyll, the headquarters of the Seekers? Perhaps you're here to experience the performances.
I'm sorry, how far are we from the headquarters?
It's not too far. Probably only I don't know, like 6 hours down the road.
Okay, so it's not a long trip to get there. I think I might be I think Aram is already in town trying to see a performance then.
Zell would be just coming into town.
Elantra is definitely in Kaedwyll, so.
Lornak would have accepted the contract, not been here casually.
Again, Gabatha didn't know there was a contract, but she loves the arts, and because she has 48 grandchildren, and so some of them might be in some of those performances, but she also just got a little sleepy and took a nap right where you all are meeting up.
Fantastic. Okay, so then, like we do so often, we'll open on Kaedwyll, the headquarters of the Seekers of the Jade Oath, where a number of you are meeting to sign a contract, in Lornak's case, for the very first time. So, as you enter the building, one of the first doors is off to the right side, will be open, and you'll be invited in by Ian Snakewood, who's one of the head honchos here.
Question right at the top. How do they
Mhm.
feel about animals in the building?
So there is a well-equipped stable outside, but I think probably Ian would give a couple looks and would be ultimately accepting, as provided that Feng kept their behavior in check.
Make it sure.
So in this office is an elegant wooden desk with an elevated back, on which there's a stone inkwell with a brown feather quill. Behind the desk are a number of shelves with little cubbies, each or many of them having rolled documents in them. Folks that have been here before, done a number of contracts, may notice that there's an unusually large number of documents in those cubbies, and you know that those to be in progress contracts. There's a couple of upholstered chairs that sort of surround the desk. Certainly none of them fit for a wolf, but otherwise fit for you, Lornak.
Is there a corner where Gabatha can be kind of slumped over, snoring?
Well, if Gabatha is in the city, then this is Kaedwyll, which is like 6 hours away. So they'll meet you in Clawford shortly.
Perfect. She'll still be asleep.
Okay.
I'll let the experienced adventurers do the setup.
Is it assumed that Aram and such have already signed since they've been before, or no?
I think probably you all are meeting here in this room, and then you'll sign once everyone has arrived.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, I was for some reason lost on where everybody was geographically.
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of lost too. Am I in the building? I think I'm in the building, right? I'm in Kaedwyll. I said I was coming into town, assuming.
Yes, yeah, that was
Okay.
what I understood. Was so we're looking at Zahel, Aram, and Lornak, who are at Kaedwyll, and then Gabatha is doing her thing, shopping and sleeping in Clawford, and Elantra was also visiting Clawford, correct?
No, Elantra's in Kaedwyll.
Oh, then I mixed that up with someone else then. Okay, so then Gabatha is the only one that's in Clawford.
I thought Aram said he was.
Is that what I mixed up then?
I think I said Aram was already there, and then I got confused on where everybody else was, and if I was not somehow not signing up for the contract or something.
Okay. Aram was the one that's in Clawford visiting. So fear not, you will get your
Okay.
contract payment. Signing can be done after the fact if needed.
Gotcha.
So part of the reason that that's definitely not normal procedure, but part of the reason is, I mean, A, you're already in the place, that this needs to go down, so they would just reach out to you. But B, during the Fell Nights, people pretty much don't travel. It's thought to be too dangerous. Animals get a little wild. It gets dark really quick. So they kind of want to get everyone to the location before the end of the day, because the Fell Nights start tomorrow.
I think Elantra would walk into the office looking shockingly well rested. Like they're normally quite bleary-eyed and sleepy-looking, but this time they're like awake, alert, well-rested. Their crops are watered. Their skin is clear.
Okay. Once everyone that's in Kaedwyll gets to the office, Ian will get up from the desk where he was finishing some paperwork. All right, so let's get this signing underway. It's best if you lot just get a move on. We've someone experienced that lives there to give you the rest of the lowdown, and I'm having them reach out to another seeker that's in the town.
As this explanation is happening, those of you sitting waiting to sign see a man walk in who looks basically like he hasn't lived in civilization for many years. He looks like he's covered in leaves from head to toe. Upon closer inspection, you can tell that it's actually folded into makeshift sort of armor. But his hair is extremely unkempt and looks almost like a wounded animal as he walks in. He looks profoundly uncomfortable. And following very closely behind him, almost like a shadow, is a very large gray wolf. He comes and sits down. Friend of mine told me I should come here.
Newbie we got. All right. Your friend there is gonna behave themselves?
He's usually okay as long as nobody does anything mean to me.
Well, I can assure nothing bad's gonna happen to you here, but once you get out there in the field, well, you'll find out.
Hopefully that'll be their problem, not yours.
And I think as you sit down and have this conversation, Fang sits on his back legs in the corner where he's got like an eye of the door and of you and of Ian.
Yeah.
All right, then Ian's just going to unroll this contract out onto the elevated portion of the back of the desk and slide the inkwell closer to it, and then just motion his hand forward to the experienced two that are here.
Okay, no explanation needed. Zahel will get up and sign it and head out the door.
Can I make an Arcana check to try to learn more about the contract process again?
Sure. Okay, so as I recall, you have in the past investigated the rune already. So I think what you learned with the 23 this time is that the actual act of signing is sort of the completion of this sort of ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what so it's got nothing to do with like special ink or the quill that's being used or anything like that. It is the actual like motion of the hand and the proximity with the paper and stuff. And so that's like activating the charm that's in the contract itself.
So it's like a somatic component.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and then the actual specifics of your signature is what binds it to you specifically as you finish the signing process.
Does it light up at all, or is there anything obvious about it as they're signing?
Yeah, so if you're looking, I think it's not too hard to notice. There is a there is a like teal rune that glows briefly on the back of each of their hands, the signing hand specifically. It's only there for a few moments, and then there's a sort of rush of that glowing light that goes up their arm, at least as far up as you can see, before it's hidden by clothing or whatever.
As Lornak watches this happen, he's just like, this isn't gonna hurt, is it?
Nothing you gotta worry about. I won't say it's painless, that would be a lie, but it's brief.
This is some kind of magic.
Simple binding you to the contract so we can keep an eye on things if needed.
Okay. And so he grabs the quill full, like, first grader style, with it just, like, grasped in his fist, no finger work,
Nice.
and just, sort of chicken scratches something that vaguely resembles the word Lornak.
And as you complete this, you see that rune light up on the back of your hand. Accompanying with it is a sort of cold burning sensation. I guess sort of like having your hand in a bucket of ice for too long.
So as that happens, Fang sort of stiffens up a little bit, and the fur kind of goes up on the back of his neck.
And just as soon as it arrived, the glyph fades and the sensation disappears. You do notice that it did not, shoot light up your arm like it did for the other two.
Interesting. Okay. Fang calms down.
Well, with that done, it's time for y'all to get a move on. You can rent horses as normal. Make sure to get any equipment you need before you leave. And maybe bring 1 or 2 extra things for the fella you'll be meeting in town.
Okay, and then at this point, if you need to buy any extra equipment, you can. They sell stuff here. Then there's also everyone can choose from the available artifacts. You can take some stuff with you.
Oh yeah, what got added in last adventure?
I don't know if we added anything, did we?
You did.
Oh, we did? Okay.
I have to remember exactly what you got because there's a bunch of stuff you didn't get.
Oh, wait, we got the, I think it's still my character sheet, the electric armor or whatever it was.
Yes, the Thunder Forged plate y'all got.
Timekeeper Shawls looks new.
Yes, the Timekeeper's shawl is new. I actually meant to ask Vince about this because this one was given to Percy's as a gift and so may not be available. So I think for now let's assume that Percy still has it until I get with him and confirm or deny. Ordskulvir is new. That's a big ass hammer. I think
that's the new stuff, at least for the last adventure. I just had the page.
Mountain's Rebuke. I think y'all can see that one.
Not sure where we're seeing this.
So in World Anvil, under the artifacts section.
Yes, the Mountain's Rebuke. Yes, we could see that.
Yeah, basically anything under here that you can see, you can take or borrow, I guess.
Okay, what is going on here? Oh, that's why. Okay. So let's see. The passenger shoes are the ones that provide other people the speed bonus, right?
Mhm. And let me know if you have any questions about how any of them work. Okay, Elantra's going to take the passenger shoes.
Perfect.
I don't actually know if anyone here is strong enough to use Ord Skulvir without incurring penalties.
What's the strength check
What's
on
the
it?
strength check?
You need a strength of 18.
I have a strength of 18.
Ah, I was just about to check your character sheet. Wait. Oh, that's right, Zell. You weren't on that last adventure where they found it.
Yes.
But I don't know if it would work with my character necessarily.
Yeah, it's probably not great for your build.
Yeah, I don't. I could use it, but I don't think it would make sense.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking the same thing.
Gabatha could use it, but would incur slight penalty.
Oh, it's just wow, Gabatha's strong.
Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
Holy
Abigail is
shit.
so strong and charismatic.
She's a
That's
tough old
hilarious.
gal.
That's hilarious.
She is
Amazing.
built like a dump truck. She's ready to go.
Oh, excuse me. She's from the Highlands. She's one of those, hardy blood type. Gabatha is not going to worry about that, though, because I don't think she wants. I think her strength is 17.
Yeah. Yeah, so you would incur a -2 on attack rolls if you wanted to use it.
She really enjoys her whisk. That's kind of served her really
It's
well
valid.
over the years.
Very valid. Old standbys, the vine wrap, the monocle.
Does the vine wrap work with your trip modifier, or is it its own thing?
It's its own thing, if I recall correctly. We've used it once before. It didn't take my modifiers into account. Am I misremembering that?
Yeah, it has its own calculation for combat maneuver bonus. It was based on the caster level of the item.
I think I'm going to take the lantern, unless somebody else was going to take that.
Yeah, that's another old standby. The first artifact ever found.
So, what is the Timekeeper's Shawl? I'm reading this and I'm just having trouble comprehending.
I can tell it just lets you know what time of day it is.
Given accurately the current time at the last location where it was exposed to the sun. So, how does it give you So that's what. So wait, it tells you the time.
So if you
always.
Yeah, so you can unfurl it at any time, or
Okay.
in any location, and get the time of day as if looking at a sundial. And what that location bit means is if you if you're wearing it around in Dolrast somewhere, and then you plane shift to like the plane of fire, it'll tell you the time in Dolrast when you do it.
Ah, I see. The time of the location where it was last
Yes.
exposed to the sun, not meaning it has to be exposed to the sun to tell time.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because you don't need a timekeeping device as much if you can see the sun already.
That's what I was like. I was trying to think like, it seems like it doesn't tell the time when there's no sun. So okay, gotcha.
Okay, has everyone got what they want / not gotten anything if that's what they choose?
Did no one take the vine wrap?
Not yet.
Okay, then I will take it. Just keeping with the pattern, I guess. The usual.
Okay, then we got the lantern, the vine wrap, and the shoes, and I think that's it.
If we're, I mean, there's no rule in taking more than one or anything, right?
Nope.
Okay, then we'll grab the monocle of the chemist just to have an extra.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Elantra
I think
said
Elantra said in chat they would
she was
take the
gonna take
monocle
that.
as well.
Oh, okay, that works. Why am I not seeing this stuff in chat?
It's in discussion.
It's in Discord.
Oh.
That's why. Perfect.
Wait, is there
Yeah.
something that adds to your AC? That's what Self just said.
Oh yes, there's the Murine vest, which has a +1 armor bonus and does not count as armor for the purposes of things that require you to not be wearing armor.
I mean, I'll take that unless somebody else wants it.
Elantra mentioned. I think Elantra mentioned it, but I didn't. It doesn't. Him saying. Yeah, he's typing right now. So wait, does that sort of thing take the place of whatever armor you have on too?
I'm assuming no.
The armor bonus doesn't stack with armor. So if you're wearing other armor, it doesn't increase.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. But it sounds like Elantra would still use it if that's if.
Well,
no,
Elantra doesn't
something-
have any armor.
Yeah, which makes sense. The thunder. So, I'm sorry. My head is all over the place too. I'm still kind of recovering. But armor works based on like medium armor. The full plate is like medium or heavy, right?
Full plate is heavy.
Yeah.
The Thunderforged plate is a breastplate, which is medium.
Medium. Thank you.
Specifically, it's an agile breastplate, I believe. Oh yeah, I'd put agile in there.
Mechanics question.
Yes.
I just saw a couple of people roll for specific checks. How do you do that in Roll20?
In your character sheet, you just click on the name of the thing, and it'll roll it.
Oh, okay, cool.
You can click on basically anything, and then if you want to expand it for like notes or whatever, click on the cog next to it.
Got it.
That's how you like expand stuff without rolling.
Cool.
Okay, good. Already bought potions.
Oh yeah, let me see if
Oh, there's the alchemy thing too, but I'm not going to look into that right now. But so the last 2 times ago, is that standard like supplies now though? The alchemic potions or whatever.
Oh yeah. You guys made you had a fuck, what was it called? Bloodhound vial. Yeah, you can get a bloodhound vial or an antivenom vial. Both of those are up for purchase. I have the prices somewhere, I promise.
I thought I remembered buying healing potions when I made this guy.
Oh, I may not have put them in your character sheet. I tend not to worry too much about random inventory things when I'm putting this together.
Yeah.
Where is it? Depository.
Oh, I still have my so I wasn't talking about the specific stuff that like was introduced when we were doing the troll hunting, but also at the time you said like could select, I forget what they're called. There was a set of potions or something like that. Because at the time I bought the Ketumu's Ire. But
The what?
I know I'm struggling here. I'm not all here mentally.
I mean, you can buy potions of a lot of different spells.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't
this was something
recognize
different.
what the one you just said.
You're thinking of the like Fucking alchemical reagents or something? Alchemical
Yeah,
weapons?
something
It was
like that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I don't-
yeah, yeah.
It was the alchemical reagents, maybe?
Yeah,
things
there's
like
there's an
alchemical
alchemical
fire-
weapons
black powder
section.
and shit.
Yeah.
Also, hello, I'm back.
Hi, back. You're coming a little scratchy, I guess.
What if I told you that I'm not? Does that make it better?
I wish.
What about now?
No change.
Great.
What if we just change mics and avoid the problem?
That does avoid the
Nope.
problem.
Oh, except I don't think it did.
Say more words.
No? More
No.
words?
Yeah, I'm not hearing it.
It
No, I'm
Oh, it's
Hyundai
there
Elantra,
you don't hear
Eladrin
that?
Wizard.
I hear it as well.
Say something again, Elantra.
Something again, Elantra. I've changed
Oh,
mics
there we
again.
go.
I
That
heard it
sounds
That
before.
was good.
I hate everything.
All right. Well, we got there.
Okay.
Okay, so while y'all finish up shopping, I think we'll have the camera sort of pan out from Kaedwyll and fly down the Moonrise Road to the west. It'll come up to Clawford, the city of Clawford. We have a map. Probably need to zoom out. It's big.
Oh, it is big.
Wow.
That's right. I can zoom out. There we go. Did not expect this town to be so large.
It's a smallish city.
Oh, okay.
So, Arim, you are here visiting for the Fell Knights. At some point, well, I guess what is Arim doing around town?
I assume this thing on the right side I'm pinging is like a stage or something like that.
Yes, that is the Silver Shimmer Theater.
I think is it an outdoor or an indoor theater?
That one is outdoor.
Okay. Aram is in the crowd, catching the theater, and also if there's any like really exposed looking coin purses, then maybe giving it a new owner.
So okay, the Silver Shimmer does shows in the at night and in the evening. So it'll be the evening of the 11th, I guess, when you're doing this. You guys should be able to mouse over those icons and see the names of places.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Oh, that's nice.
Super cool.
By the way, I just posted a link to they were called alchemic weapons, I think is what the link you gave us last time.
Okay, I'll just.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I still have things of acid from that. Excellent.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find. That's what I was, because I forgot what mine even does. So I had to find that list again.
Well, I'm assuming that Aram didn't get rid of those and still has them.
Speaking of, potions of cure light wounds are 50 gold pieces, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Excellent.
Moderate are 300.
It's a big step up.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't and the heals aren't nearly as good either.
I mean, double is better in combat, I guess, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's about that efficiency, yo.
Yeah.
All right, so, Aram, you are at this performance. Pickpocketing people looking for marks. And I think the performance is going to open with a poem that's originated in this area, or like a sort of song that they sort of, as tradition, say before every performance at this time of year. Ba-ba-ba.
Okay.
I thought I had it open, but I don't.
2003 Ford Windstar.
I think we have time for a 30-second ad reel.
In days long past, a man there was who claimed to fight back beasts. A farmer did cry, "My goat has died, it was dragged into the trees." The man he came into the town and took the farmer's coin. Then in the woods he went and splashed blood from head to loin. Out from the woods he came, his ruse nearly complete. "The beast is dead, now I must go," he says as he retreats. Days go by, more livestock dies, but the man he counts his gains, and to another town he treads to grift the folk again. This time it is the darkest nights, the pinnacle for his fraud. So to the people he does declare, "Your town I can guard." They offer their funds to the man cowed by their fright, and to the woods he goes again, posturing to fight. This time he hears a snarling sound, but nothing can he see. Then leaping through the darkness, a force from the astral sea. It pinned him down and howled to him, "This is for the lies." And down it bit into his face, sucking his bones out through his eyes. Forevermore, on those nights, the creatures would emerge to punish any liars, thieves, or others they call scourge.
Damn, okay.
There's a sort of tepid round of applause because everyone in this city has heard that 1,000 times. And then the performance begins. The Legend of the Bone Drinkers. As I think you pickpocket someone in front of you and you get just like a handful of silver. An old goblin sort of pokes you in the back of the shoulder.
Yes? Aaron turns around.
They have extensively wrinkled gray skin, dull red eyes, wearing like loose red like linen clothing.
Can I help you?
You're a seeker.
I'm not
Yes,
sure how you knew that, but yes.
I was too. Ian told me to find you. He said you were here, and you are.
Have anything that you can prove that he sent you?
He'll like rifle through his bags. Or his pockets, rather. His baggy pockets. And he'll pull out like a little patch that looks like it used to be sewed onto some clothing, but it isn't any longer. And it has the emblem of the Seekers organization on it.
Well, that's proof enough for me. What did he want?
There is a contract in town. Some are coming, but they could use more. You are more.
Yeah, all right. I was a bit busy here, but haven't had much success this time. No. Anyway, that's not important. Besides the fact there doesn't seem to be money in this town. So yeah, I could be persuaded to do a contract here.
Good. Meet Chumbo at Golden Bee Infirmary tomorrow.
He
All right.
pokes you several more times in the shoulder.
I'll do that.
You're good at that, by the way.
And then he'll get up and leave.
I instantly check my pockets.
He He didn't take anything, but actually, give me a perception check to see if you noticed. Okay. Yeah, like as he was saying you're good at that, you felt his hand go into your pocket on the other side of you, and he dropped 3 pebbles in there.
Excellent.
Shit, free pebbles.
Yeah. I'll find a way to use these.
3
someday.
pebbles, bro.
They don't grow on
He better
trees,
be a
you know?
permanent character because my one mission is now to sneak them into his pocket at a later date. 1 pebble at each meeting.
Well, hopefully he notices. Who knows how many pebbles he has?
Did he say his name?
He did. He said meet Chumbo at the Golden Bee Infirmary, so you could gather that this goblin's name is Chumbo.
Okay. He'll recognize the marbles. He seems good enough. There's no way he won't know. Or not marbles, the stones.
So what is Gabatha up to? Is Gabatha also watching the performances somewhere?
Gabatha is absolutely in the crowd, on a nice, plushy cushion, and just taking a little doze, but she's feeling great now. She's had her second daily nap of the morning, so she's starting to come to a little bit.
All right, just enjoying the performances for the evening.
Oh, absolutely, yes. She had really wanted to come and see all of the performances, and I would say the big thing that when you see her sitting, she's got a really big basket in her arms, and it just has these warm blueberry muffins. And anybody she sees sitting around her, she tries to offer them a muffin. And some people seem to find that a little weird, maybe.
Aram, I think you would likely notice an old woman handing out muffins in the crowd. It's a bit of an unusual sight, seeing someone just carrying around a giant basket full of them.
I think definitely. Aram wanders over since now he has to wait until tomorrow anyway. To meet Chumbo. So he wanders over to investigate what's going on with this old grandmother.
Oh, hello, dearie. Would you like a muffin?
No.
No, you absolutely. Do I know you?
I don't think so.
No, you're Frank, right? You're my great nephew. No, you're my great nephew. No, okay. Well, anyways, take a muffin, and I'm trying to force muffins into your hands.
Aram eventually takes the muffin.
Oh, let me know what you think. Aren't these performances marvelous? I've been enjoying them all day. But this last one was a little bit almost scary. It woke me up from my nap. But anyways, let me know what you think of the muffin. It's my new recipe.
Is there anything I can sense about Gabatha's muffin or her approach to giving me one? To see if she means anything bad from it.
I mean, Gabatha, what are your intentions for muffin distribution?
Honestly, they're just delicious, I think Gabatha enjoys watching the crowd a little bit and taking things in, but she also likes making a little bit of a spectacle. So Aram is the first person who's actually taken a muffin. So Aram, I will say the muffin you have is about 4 days old.
Oh no.
Aram carefully tries to take a bite because it probably looks stale at this point. The flavor's good, but it's a bit. You have a very nice crumb in this cake.
Nonsense, dear.
But it's a bit stale.
No. Anyways, I'm sorry. What were you saying? What are you doing here for the town? I just wandered in a few days ago. Are you enjoying the performances? I saw you going through the crowds. You seem to have lots of friends.
Yeah, I have lots of friends here. I'm here for work.
Oh, well, that is so interesting. What is your name again?
Aram.
Ah, okay, Eric. Yes, I came into town because I was thinking that I need a new set of knitting needles, and I was looking for a job. So, what do you do for work?
What are you good at? I mean, are you good at anything besides baking?
Oh, my boy, I'm good at everything. Look at me. I'm a wonderful teammate. I just can't wait to get. I don't even know what you're doing. I just have a good feeling about you, Eris. I think we should stick together.
Aram looks closer, and I'm assuming like she looks strong for her age.
Yeah, what does Gabatha look like?
So Gabatha is like 4'3", maybe 4'4", but she's like 160 pounds. So she's quite well rounded. But Aram might notice that her arms are super beefy. She's a baker by profession, but she's really built, has some pretty jacked shoulders. So, although, I'm not even sure she's still sitting at this point, so he might not realize how short she is, but she's incredibly strong. So maybe she looks a little like she might not just be a baker.
Is there like besides that? I guess is there like any sign for Aram that she like looks like she can handle herself? Like
I don't know if Aram would notice her whisk, which is about 2 feet long, and it's really heavy, solid metal.
I
I feel like
that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like silver engraved and it's beautifully done. It has globs of cookie dough on the inside, so it's not very clean, but I don't know how closely Aram's looking. But there's not just cookie dough on the inside of it. It looks like it might have some other stuff going on.
Aram's looking real closely.
Is the whisk like is it like hanging off your side, or do you just hold it all the time, or like where is it situated?
Yeah, so it's sticking out of her apron that she's wearing. So it's kind of peeking out because it's so long. And so the part that has all like the different prongs is coming up. And so anyone looking would maybe see that there's like, it looks like there might be some blood on the end of it.
Yeah, I think with a 28, Aram, you're definitely going to clock that, and also probably notice that it's like straining the apron more than a normal whisk would. Like clearly there's some heft to this thing.
Well, if you're looking for work, then meet there's a goblin named Chumbo. Meet him at the Golden Bee tomorrow.
Ooh, okay, the Golden Bee. Absolutely. I might go that way. I'll see you and I'll see
Can't promise
Chom.
you anything, but if you can
Okay.
convince him, then you might be able to get some work.
Oh, I'm so excited. No, thank you so much, young man. Here, I appreciate your help so much. Take another few muffins. And she throws the entire like basket full of muffins at you.
I take. I'll take two. I can't
No,
take
no,
any
no.
more.
Take them
I
all
take
here.
two.
No, no, no.
I take
Thank
two,
you
and
so
I start
much.
to walk away and slip them into someone else's pocket as I leave.
The rudest gift. I'll see you in Jambi tomorrow.
I'm assuming that I can put these muffins in someone else's pockets with a 28.
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent.
No one in this crowd is going to notice you doing that except for maybe Gabatha if she's keeping a keen eye out.
No, she doesn't care anymore. She was just happy to get rid of them. They were like, each muffin was like half a pound, so they were really starting to take some weight.
That is an even more impressive sleight of hand then.
Yeah, I mean, it's the type of thing where like you put it in someone's pocket, and because they're sitting down, they don't really notice the weight. But as soon as they stand up to like clap or like go to the bathroom or something, they're immediately like, "What the fuck is this?" and
Those
find
are
a
some
giant
big
muffin.
ass muffins, man. Half a pound.
Anchored down really in the pockets.
She
of the
was
master.
carrying a bag. She's strong.
So I think around this time at the a little further south on along this road, the rest of the group is riding in. I assume y'all rented horses for the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there any sort of fee we should mark off for that?
Your fee is if they die, you have to buy them a new horse.
Got it.
So for seekers, it is free to borrow horses provided that they bring them back. So as you approach the town, you see a city full of timber-framed buildings made of the light-colored pine that grows in the nearby Moonshaft Woods to the north. There are also a number of temporary-looking houses that are dotted about, seemingly wherever they could find space that wasn't too far from the roads. Actually, give me a knowledge local check, everyone, I guess.
Including Arim and Gabatha, or just
Yeah.
Okay.
That was never gonna go well.
Okay, probably only Elantra notices. Actually, I'll
Who knows things?
let me roll for Zahel real quick.
So Gabatha, is that a 15 then, or a 13?
I was just wondering that.
That should
already
be
added that.
it should be there already.
Okay, it's already.
Yeah, that checks.
Yeah, I think the note is there so you know that you can make them untrained.
We do knowledge local checks.
Yes. Okay, Elantra and Zahel, you both recall that like as you see these temporary looking houses, you recall that the nearby town of Tanafel burned down just a couple months ago, and nothing seems to grow there anymore. So basically everyone that lived there came here to Clawford. This is the closest settlement, and so that's what all these temporary buildings seem to be, is people just sort of trying to jam into every crack they could find. As you begin to ride through a little bit, the construction down here on the southern end of the city seems to be a bit more lavish than in the rest of it, but the sort of haphazard layout of everything in this city makes it pretty clear that the city's recent expansion was largely unplanned, so they just sort of plopped things down where they had space. So it's a little wacky in the layout. Also, you see people, or rather, you see in front of nearly every building, over doorways and such, are wreaths of garlic, wolfsbane, tea leaves, fennel, all sorts of other plants that are thought to have warding properties to keep evil at bay. There's like salt and silver paint running along windowsills, and you can see incense burning in front of people's homes, or you can see through the windows on windowsills and stuff. All sorts of things that they put up this time of year when the fells arrive, and they begin to get a little fearful of increased evil.
Lornak walks up to some of the stuff that's smeared on one of the doors and just like puts a little on his finger and licks it.
Yeah, it's a combination of all sorts of different plants and like mashed up, definitely not made for taste. So there's like strong garlic and like parsley and actually I think you can probably recognize a couple of things in here that are poisonous in larger quantities.
He just goes, it's back to the group. Don't do that. Don't do that. Bad idea.
You don't get too far into town though before a gray wrinkled goblin sort of rushes down the street and then spots a huge wolf and a crew of armored folk on horseback, and there's like an instant sign of recognition in their face as they run towards you, waving an arm.
Fang is on high alert.
Yeah, I think Fang probably gives a like light low growl as this goblin sprints up to you. Seekers, you're the seekers, yes. Points to himself. Chumbo.
Is that what we're called?
Yes, that is what the organization is called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's us.
Hello, I am Hyundai Elantra.
Chumbo.
Well met, Chumbo.
Are you the one to give us details on the contract?
Yes and no.
Excellent.
I used to be a seeker. Yes, I've retired though. Bone's too old.
He grabs one of your arms, whoever's closest, and drags you a little further, like 10 feet further down the road to an intersection, and points up the road towards the Golden Bee Infirmary. I mean, you wouldn't be able to see it from here, but he's pointing in that general direction.
Tomorrow morning, meet there. Golden Bee.
We're about here then.
Yeah.
Okay.
What time?
Sunrise.
Excellent.
And what time of day is it now?
It's evening now. So I think Chumbo just finished running down from the Silver Shimmer Theater where he met Aram. So, the sun's... I guess at this time of year, there's a very little bit of moonlight left because the fells don't start until tomorrow. But evening is quite dark right now. So it might as well be midnight, basically, with how dark it is.
Quick question. The
Mhm.
fells, how long do they last? Is it just
3
one night or
days.
3 days, okay. And that is not tonight, that is starting tomorrow night.
Starts tomorrow night, yeah.
Okay.
He'll then spin around and point in a couple of different directions.
Lodging. You can get lodging. There should be rooms. Expensive though. Demand high.
Where would you stay?
In my house.
Do you-
Chumbo stays in Chumbo's house.
Do you have extra room, Jumbo?
He like leans to the side and cocks his head, looking at Fang.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Chumbo house small.
And the only woods around this town are the ones to the northwest, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sunrise tomorrow. You meet Srells at the infirmary. With me. And one other.
Very well.
Who's this other?
More seekers.
There are more of us?
Yes.
Loads more. Many more.
Oh. It's all very new to me.
Oh, newbie.
Yeah, you guys can see this whole time, like, Lornak is really, really not comfortable with being in a town.
There's stables that way. You can put horses.
Thank you, Jumbo.
For the housing, is there any place you recommend?
I have not stayed in any housing for a long time. Not since Chumbo bought house here himself.
Right, I guess we'll have to ask around. Unless anyone has any questions, I think that we shall find ourselves a place to sleep.
Okay.
All right, so after your little meeting with Chumbo the Goblin, he'll like nod excitedly and then run off down the street, presumably towards his house. As you guys look around the city, there's you begin to notice a few signs that are temporary, with information about activities over the coming days. You know, like bonfires being organized on the edges of the city to provide light when the moons are out. Performances at the two main theaters in town, and also like many businesses have like postings on their doors about altered hours for the next few days, because they're going to be sleeping during the daytime.
Well, that makes a lot more sense than everyone just staying up for 3 days.
I'm sure that some people try to stay up the entire time, but probably rarely goes well by the third day. And I imagine any nightmares you would get are much worse if you're sleep deprived going into it. So I assume y'all are going to stable up the horses somewhere, and try and get rooms.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yes.
It's not difficult to identify the two major sort of boarding houses. There's also some of the taverns have rooms, although significantly fewer rooms than the houses that are dedicated to that. So the Silver Candle Inn is probably the most expensive option. The Gentle Glade Guest House, probably the cheapest. The Bottomless Barrel is sort of middling price because they don't have that many rooms to offer, but you're living above a pub for 3 days, so.
I'll say when we were going to stable the horses, like as we were leading them into the stall, Lornak just sort of followed in and just like went to go lay down in the stable.
All right, so Lornak and Fang are like cuddling up in with one of the horses.
Yeah, unless somebody thinks that's wants to say anything, that would be his plan.
I mean, would Lornak try and do this like secretly? Would you try and slink away, or are you just gonna?
No,
In
I
front
mean,
of
you would just
everyone.
assume that that's what the plan was.
Okay.
Because he was just like, oh, the horses are sleeping here, I'm sleeping here.
Yeah, I don't think at this time of day the stable master would be keeping a close enough eye on you to even notice. So if neither of your party members are going to say anything about it, then you just got yourself a room for free.
Congrats, rent is expensive.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, stabling up the horses is negligibly cheap for y'all. It's like a silver per night. You know, it's not an amount of money you need to worry about.
Yeah, just to be clear,
know-
this is not something he was doing to try to get a free room. This is just like he didn't know any better.
You know, as a seeker, you can afford a room.
A room where? This seems pretty comfy.
I think one of the boarding houses would be a lot more comfier.
How do they feel about wolves?
That I can't say.
Fang, what do you think? And then Fang would just sort of nuzzle in deeper to the hay. And I would just be like, if he stays, I stay.
Yeah, Fang gives you those sort of like don't go dad eyes.
And I'm just if he's here, I'm here. I'm okay.
Do yourself.
We should see you at sunrise.
I'll see you at the bee place.
Yes. North of here.
All right. I'm set.
All right, so the other two of you find rooms somewhere.
I'm absolutely getting a room at the Silver Candle Inn.
Okay.
In case there's any question there.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's like 2 gold pieces per night at the Silver Candle. And it's a little bit more. This is like one of the newer construction buildings that you've seen thus far in the city. It has like the walls inside are painted. It's all like carpeted. And the clientele, I guess, the other patrons there are clearly, like more well-to-do, not like noble people, but definitely doing well for themselves visitors that are there for theater performances and the like.
Excellent.
Off phone now, by the way.
Does Zahel have strong preference to where you're sleeping? Elantra was
not.
going for the Silver Candle straight away.
He does not have. Zell is not picky on where he sleeps, so he will be more than likely to go toward the Gentle Glade.
Okay. Yeah, the Gentle Glade's a little bit more of like a hostile sort of environment. It's a little more private than that, but pretty cheap. It's like 7 silver a night or 8 silver a night. It's basically free for an adventure.
So wait, was the Silver Candle, is that 2 gold?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a big difference. But okay, I'm more than happy to go with the Gentle Glade. I do ask them, how do they feel about pets?
The person running the desk will just sort of look around and be like, if you can fit them, I guess.
Good to know, thanks.
Yeah, there's not a ton of open, like empty, unused space. They sort of have like small rooms all over the place, and then there's like a little common area that just has beds. maybe not enough space for a wolf.
Yeah, I'm thinking this sounds like it's just kind of like I get it now. Either way, I'm good.
Okay, and I assume Gabatha and Aram have lodgings already situated because y'all were planning on staying here already.
Yes.
So Gabatha has spent the time approaching different people and reminding them that she is their great aunt and inviting herself to stay in their homes for the night. So she has been doing that the past few days.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're having pretty good success with this. You're very convincing, and you find a couple of people that are like, "Oh yeah, I kind of remember my mom telling me about you."
That's right. That's right, dear. Yes, yes. No, I want to hear all about how your mother's been doing. Oh, and I know it's getting late. Maybe we should find something to eat. I'm so hungry. Oh, these old bones have to keep me strong.
Yeah, I think you have a couple of choices for where you want to stay tonight. Probably like 3 choices.
Gabatha's efficiency minded, so she wants to choose whatever location is closest to the Golden Bee, so she doesn't have to walk far. But she passes some old scones that she finds in her pockets to the 2 that she rejects.
Incredible. All right, then yeah, you'll be able to find a place that's like up in this area, this sort of block.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you, dear.
So pretty close to the Golden Bee, not too far from the theater you were at either.
Perfect.
Like with that roll, you might have deeply confused a few folks.
She promises to call and write, but she never does.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of people that are going home and like trying to review old letters to see if they were remembering correctly or.
It's wonderful.
Okay. Night falls. And y'all are sleeping in your various accommodations. How's the sleep going for Elantra?
Not bad.
Excellent. Yeah, this is certainly this is not your first rodeo during the fells, so this is your last chance to get good sleep, probably even during the day. It's a little fraught for you for the next 3 days, so more so than for everyone else.
Yeah, I think that Elantra bought some alchemical melatonin and has been sleeping really well the last like week because they've been using just a shit ton of that to make sure that they sleep.
Sort of stockpiling up on rest.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way, but they like to think it does.
At least you get to go into that first day of the fells feeling good, so you're not trying to catch up even on night 1.
They've been doing like some light exercise too, just to like kind of, keep their body okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're
okay.
You're not a physical specimen as is, so.
Listen, 346 years under the belt doesn't do you a lot of favors in the bones department.
I know it's on stream, but should I post the full character art so everybody knows what he looks like?
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Fang is a big boy, and this is the small version of Fang.
Yeah, you should have seen the first version.
Soon, TM. All right. The sun rises at dawn, and y'all have an appointment.
Where are the stables in town?
There would be stables at both sort of ends of this main road. So, I mean, you came in on the western end, so you'd be able to find something around here somewhere. I don't have an
Hey, Dallas,
exact
can you
building
delete
for
the
it.
message I just sent in your Twitch chat?
I can.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to post.
Okay, so are any of you? I guess probably only the three that rode in together. But are y'all planning to meet up at the Golden Bee, or did you want to meet up somewhere else and find your way there together?
I'm just gonna meet at the Golden Bee.
Yeah, I think I said I would
Hey.
meet them there.
Okay, then not long after dawn, a number of you arrive outside the Golden Bee. Are any of you like particularly early, particularly late?
Gabatha's super early. Like
I think
1.5 hours.
Elantra arrives precisely when they mean to. They're never really early or late.
God damn it.
I think
I-
Aram is slightly late, but not very late, just by a couple minutes.
Said we were supposed to be here at sunrise, right? So, Lornak would probably be like a little bit late because he would wake up at sunrise.
Okay. I think Chumbo probably rushes in from the opposite end of the road at the same time as Aram, so a little bit late, and after the rest of you are already gotten there. Outside the building is a sign hanging depicting a large honeybee in the center of a white field with a sunflower in the bottom left corner. Anyone that wants to can make me a knowledge religion check. See if you recognize any of that.
I'm just not even gonna bother.
Shouldn't have bothered.
All right, Gabatha and Elantra, you recognize this as a sort of modified version of the attendance of the White Curtain sigil. It's a sort of religious organization that devotes themselves to the practice of medicine with a focus on folks that are like terminally ill and like the preparation of bodies for burial or burning or whatever. So they do like death rites and making sure people are comfortable as they die and stuff like that. So as Chumbo rushes up, they're gonna like get up on their tiptoes and sort of, motion out as if to count everyone. One extra, but fine. In, let's go.
Wait, extra.
Yeah.
He wasn't planning on Gabatha being here.
Oh,
No,
hello.
Zahel says that.
Yeah. Lornak would have just sort of looked around and taken stock of the
Wait,
two
what do you
people
mean
that
extra?
were not there.
Oh, hey, Aram.
Hey, Zahel. It's good to see you again.
Chumbo's not going to answer you. They're just going in.
Gabatha's just beaming at everyone and saying good morning and just like really happy.
Lornak will sort of lean into Gabatha and just be like, hello. Hi.
Hi, so nice to see you. Here's a scone.
Oh. Okay. And he would just take it and just shove the whole thing in his mouth.
These ones are much better. She actually, that's why she got here so early, was she was making them in the morning.
He would Lornak would be very pleased.
Yeah, fresh scone. That's a treat for any, let alone one that's not used to the comforts of city living.
Not even one for Fang.
No, you're
There's
gonna
like
be
a
the whole thing.
There's like a little dog treat.
Oh, okay. Well, then you've won the affection of the whole party.
Is there any trepidation from Fang at accepting food from a stranger, or?
I would have assumed that Lornak would have taken it and handed it to Fang
Okay.
instead of it coming directly from Gabatha.
Yeah, then food from you, it gets gobbled up eagerly. So
also, Fang is going to try to follow me into this building. We'll see how that goes.
Excellent. As you all enter, the interior of the Golden Bee is bright. It is, it's like wood floors and walls, but they're painted white with like gold accents running around all the edges. This lobby that you enter in is a pretty small square room. There's a cord near the doorway that runs to, like a line of bells that run. There's one in this room, and then it runs through a hole into the room off to the right. And then straight back, there's a room with a label that says mortuary.
I got two things. The first is my standard question. Do I see anything with my always on detect magic eyes?
In here, no.
Okay. The second thing, I need to leave for work now.
Okay.
So have fun piloting my wizard.
Will do. Farewell.
Bye, Silka.
Bye. I'll be not hopefully
Bye.
doing this next time. 2003 Ford Windstar minivan.
We'll do your ad spots for you.
Thank you. I can send you the ad copy.
Thank you.
So y'all find yourselves in this sort of lobby room, and there's no one else here. Fang is able to fit through the door. There's like one chair in this room, and there's a desk at the opposite end. It's not quite like an actual doctor's office desk. It's more just like a normal writing desk. So there's a chair at that desk, and then there's one chair like for guests or whatever. Otherwise, empty.
Gabatha goes and sits in the chair.
Lornak's just sort of hanging out by the door. Doesn't really know what to make of this.
Aram's just hanging out as well.
Okay. Chumbo looks around for a couple of moments and then hurries over to that cord that was near the doorway, gives a little jump up and grabs it and pulls it down with most of his body weight. And as he does, you hear like 6 bells ring out across this room and the long room next to you as he lets go.
Lornak is scared as shit.
Now we wait.
Like 20 seconds later, bursting through the door is a young halfling man with strawberry blonde hair, sideburns that look like they just started growing, dressed in a long white tunic, and a right arm of silver metal, which Elantra does notice as being faintly magical.
Lornak would have whipped around, weapons out, as soon as this guy busted in the door.
Whoa!
Who are you?
Put the sticks down.
Why?
You rang my bell.
I didn't ring anything.
Well, one of you rang my... Oh! Chumbo!
As he says that, Lornak will have calmed down a little bit.
Chumbo goes, yes, we here to meet Srells. We're here to meet Srells. Oh. I'll go get him. I'm Dibby, by the way. And then the halfling runs back into the room that he came from. And you hear faintly, Srells, they're here. Maybe like a minute later, the halfling comes back through the door, followed by a half-dwarven man. Sort of like buzzed blonde hair, long chops, lightly tanned skin, brown eyes, wearing a similar white tunic as the halfling. Hello, Chumbo. Are these them? Pointing at the lot of you. Uh-huh. Good. Well, I'm Srells, son of Brioch Heavyhand. You are the Seekers?
We are the Seekers.
Absolutely.
They tell me.
Wait, what? As he looks as Zahel looks at Gabatha curiously.
Oh yes, I'm so happy to be part of the team. No, but tell us, what are we going to do? I'm so excited.
Lornak at this point will have looked at the people he came with and would like, just sort of under his breath, do you know this woman?
Zahel just shrugs, I guess. I guess she's in.
And
Lovely.
Lornak shrugs back.
Yeah, Elantra will return your sort of confused look, but not say anything to the contrary.
I met her briefly. She somehow wormed her way in. She seems like she could be useful, despite her outward and general appearance.
Gabatha
Nice to you.
smiles. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna see if I could clock the whisk.
The giant whisk that's in my hand right now.
Yeah, okay, so it's in your hand. All right.
Gabatha,
Sure.
Gabatha smiles because this is how many of her social interactions go. With her
Just people confused why you're there, and then noticing your giant whisk.
just joining and just telling people, oh, I know, I was talking to this young man, Eris, and he said he thought I'd be a really good member of the team. And
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm Eris, now don't get shy, and I'm just am looking around at this wonderful group, and I feel like, maybe it's always nice to have a little touch of Granny around.
I'll say while she's saying that, Lornak is slowly reaching to try to get a bit of dough off of the whisk.
Oh, here you go, dearie. She pops it right off and gives you like a big chunk.
He takes it happily.
It's the same blood-flavored dough from earlier.
He's down.
Yuck. Srells will continue after the back and forth between the group dies down a little bit. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances, but alas. Come, follow me to the back. And he'll head back to the mortuary and motion for you to follow.
All right.
Once you all get into the room, and he closes the door behind you, we need to keep it quiet, but there was a murder.
A murder.
He will walk to the back corner of the room and wheel a table out that has a sheet covering something. It was found at the edge of the woods the other day. I wouldn't quite call it a body. And he pulls the sheet off. And what is revealed is essentially a formless bag of skin with lumps where organs would be, and some other choice sections of cartilage or whatnot, but largely not person-shaped.
Aram gags a little bit, just because it's so different from normal.
Fang
But,
probably takes a step forward and would start sniffing it.
Gabatha's expression doesn't change.
Yeah, nor does Lornak.
Are we sure this thing was ever alive?
The person that brought it in certainly thought so. I have examined it, and all of the bones are gone. There wasn't any injuries except for one. And he'll get out just like a leather glove, put it on his right hand, and lift what appears to be the head skin up, sort of folds it over the chest to reveal the back of the neck. This is the only damage, pointing at a sort of jagged hole, like the size of a garden hose, maybe. Roughly where the spine would be, at like the base of the neck, and there's like dark bruising around it.
Lornak's gonna poke it.
is there still a brain in the skull?
Is there a skull?
There
Or
is
in
no
the head, in the head.
There is
skin?
no skull, but there is a sort of brain-sized lump in the head bag.
Yeah, I'll say that's where Lornak poked it.
Gabatha's trying to figure out if she recognizes what species the skin is.
As you poke the head bit, Lornak, it feels kind of like not really even meat. It's softer than meat, more tender than meat would be. I guess it probably feels more like just fat.
Hmm.
If I were to guess what poking a brain felt like.
He'd probably turn to whoever would be interested. I don't think we should eat this.
Srells, I think, is going to intentionally ignore that comment and continue on. Obviously, the legend of the bone drinkers is just a legend, but this looks like what that would be. The people are jumpy during this time, and feelings are already stretched thin. I fear if they find out about this, it will cause panic.
Dolph, can Gabatha tell more about the bag of skin itself? Like if it's a human or some other creature?
Sure, give me a heal check, or maybe a knowledge nature might work.
Not a great check.
I think even with a
Hey!
10, you can recognize that it is a humanoid. You probably can't pin down species any more specifically than that.
Only 25.
With a 25, you can definitely recognize that it was a dwarf, male dwarf. Actually, with a 25, you can probably clock that it's a male dwarf from this region. certainly a sun dwarf, not one of those stone dwarves.
Whereas for Gabatha, she's like, oh, it's these darn eyeglasses. They never clean right. I just can't see. She's trying to clean her glasses.
Does Gabatha do that thing that at least my mom did, where you grab someone else's shirt to clean your glasses on?
Yes, I think she notices Lornak looks a little jumpy still, so she goes right over to Aram and says, "Oh, you're such a dearie, sweetie. Thank you for offering." And just grabs his shirt. Oh, thank you so much.
This is fine. .jpg.
You're such a sweetie. And she pats her cheek and walks back towards the skin sack.
There was one other oddity. Oh yeah, the kidneys were gone, says Dibby the halfling. All the other organs still there though. Weird, huh?
Not much for anatomy, but I'm pretty sure the kidneys aren't a bone.
I don't know. They usually taste pretty good, though.
Did Lornak say that out loud?
Yes.
Aram eyes him, not grossly, but curiously, if that makes sense.
And to which Gabatha kind of swoops down. She's like, "Oh dear, later on I'll give you my kidney pudding. It's a family favorite." But it does seem like there's a little bit of a problem here today. This is such a shame about this. Right? What should we do?
Lornak is very excited about the pudding.
Well, we need to get to the bottom of this without alerting anyone else.
So is there anything else you could tell us about these mythical bone drinkers other than, they drink bones?
Yeah, they're said to come after liars and grifters and charlatans. I think they're from another plane.
but they only come out at night, and usually in the woods, I think.
As someone who's knowledgeable and fairly knowledgeable in planes, is that enough of a hint for Aram to try and remember anything about them?
Give me a planes check.
Aram is nope.
You have never heard of them.
Okay.
I'll say, just because Lornak is not super acquainted with the group, looking around, does anybody look like they would fit that description of a grifter or a charlatan?
Interesting. I mean, Aram is certainly the closest, being a literal thief.
Yeah, what is, just because I haven't played with you guys before, what do you guys look like?
Oh yes, sorry. We introduced the two new people's characters, but not all the oldies. Yeah, let's go around and do character intros real quick. I guess Aram first. We'll go alphabetical.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Give me half a second to remember what I look like. Aram is a fetchling, so descended from humans who lived on the plains. So he's extremely thin, kind of gray-skinned, white hair. Average height compared to a human. And he is a unchained rogue. I don't know if we're trying to go into backstory as well, or if we're just like going for like general
Just
look.
physical description is all I
Okay.
need for now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you my best shot at Hyundai Elantra's an Eladrin, which is a flavor of particularly magic sensitive elf. They wear fucking wizard robes. I think probably the most notable piece of equipment would be a ring that sort of defies all logic when you look at it. Like, I don't know, it's like an infinity puzzle sort of thing, but if you try and follow any of the paths along the ring, it stops making sense.
All right.
Zahel is a half-orc, greenish skin, light greenish skin. 6 feet tall, fairly built, and wields a glaive.
So I would say that after them giving that description, I would be, or Lornak would sort of be giving Aram a little bit of a side eye.
It's close enough for me to think I noticed. I had nothing to do with this. I don't know what you're looking at me for.
Oh, just look like you might be a target. That's all I'm saying.
Target?
They said that they come after grifters. You look a little sketchy.
That's extreme. I am a professional.
Okay. He sort of shrinks back.
But thank you for watching out for me.
I think Dibby will chime in. They're not real. It's just a legend. No one's ever seen one.
There is a meat sack without any bones on the table right there.
Aram wasn't nervous, but now he's a little nervous. Secretly.
Gabatha is looking a little shocked that you all are looking, that Aram's looking nervous, and she's like, oh, come on. Just a bag of meat without bones. I mean, back in my day, we had lots more problems in these parts. This seems like just a little issue, nothing big deal. And Aram, I'm sure all we need is to get you a nice haircut and we'll get you looking really nice and sharp.
Aram's hair is freshly cut from his visit to town.
Could be a little shorter, just like Granny always thinks.
So the body is not freaking out Lornak. It's the social interactions are more scary to Lornak than the body is.
Mood. So, yeah, I think Strells at this point will sort of fold the head back to where it was before and try and get this body in as best like representative shape as if it had bone still in it as he can. It could be that someone is trying to live the legend.
You think somebody could just be faking it? Try to scare people?
He nods.
That's an impressive faking.
Yeah. How would they do that?
Well, that's why we brought you in. Whoever is responsible must be dangerous.
So you said this happened in the woods?
Right on the edge. Amina, I think her name was. She's the one that brought it in. Maybe you can talk to her.
Where does she live?
I don't know where she lives, but she works at the old mill. The Welling Downs mill.
Well,
Amina Darkfern is the full name.
well, it sounds like we have a real pickle, and it sounds like we're really worried. So maybe we need to get together and head over there and talk to this Havina and see what we can do. Um, Before we go, is there anything else we need to know about the legend? Or, I've told so many legends, and at this point, Gabatha goes off on like a little bit of a tangent, but like 5 minutes later, she does come back to asking the question of anything else that we should know about the legend.
Well, the legend's been around for as long as I have.
And Strells chimes in. That's not very long, Dibby.
Yeah, well, it's been around a long time's what I mean, and we don't have any records of anything like this ever happening during the Fells. I don't think it's a bone drinker. They're not real.
What about our pay? I haven't signed a seeker's contract for this.
Chumbo, who was sitting in the corner of the room, like head down, trying to get a little bit of a nap, will sort of perk up.
Mayor pay. Mayor pay for contract. You sign later.
Okay.
I tell Ian that you join, and then you sign later.
This is Chumbo talking?
Yeah.
Okay, I go over and I want to shake Chumbo's hand, so real quick. It's like, thanks.
Yeah, Chumbo shakes as vigorously as a tiny old goblin can.
Well, should we go to this
We
mill?
should go check it out.
sounds like such a lovely stroll, boys. I love it, the fresh air. Ah, one of you will have to walk with me, of course. My balance is bad. And she tries to grab Lornak's arm.
Aram
Well-
ducks out the door.
I'll say that Fang sort of steps in between and catches her as she's like,
Oh, what a good pup.
I think at this point, as people are sort of getting ready to leave, Elantra is going to pull Dibby aside and just like inquire about his arm, because there was a little bit of magic there.
you said it was silver? His arm?
Not silver as in made of silver, but silver colored metal.
Mm.
And as an Eladrin, Elantra can see magic. Essentially, they have persistent detect magic running through their eyes at all times. So,
Broken. It's really cool.
I mean, it's powerful for sure.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So they definitely clocked the faint magic running through it that allows Dibby to manipulate the prosthetic arm they have. So they're off in a corner talking about that. Probably outside the mortuary, because this conversation doesn't need to be secret anymore. And Sorrel's will, having covered the skin sack back up, wheel the table back into a corner.
Soon as there is an opportunity to be outside, Lornak is outside.
Let's go. Should we go investigate the location?
Sounds like a good idea.
To the mill.
All right. I think this is a good place to take a quick bio break. I at least have to release urine, so give it like 8 minutes.
8 minutes and counting.
6:25.
Got it.
BRB chat. I have a BRB now. I'm back. Check. Gotta see what spells Elantra has prepared today. We good? We back?
I am back. Rob is in realm.
I'm back.
And I'm back.
I'm here.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, so you're taking your leave of the Golden Bee Infirmary. Chumbo is going to part ways with the group at this point, having done their duty, handing you off, gathering you up and then handing you off to the person that requested the contract. So they scurry down the road some direction, and you guys are headed towards the mill, just in the top left.
Aram
the
starts heading
river.
that way.
Follow.
Gabatha is hobbling along. She's probably the slowest one.
As you guys walk through the city, Fang is gray, right?
Dark gray, yeah.
Okay. Better than black. I think if he was black, it'd be a bit more of a ruckus. But dark gray still gonna garner a lot of concerned looks, and people will definitely give you a wide berth as you walk through the streets.
Yeah, I would say he's like dark gray, like borderline black with like, bits that are lighter gray, if you've seen wolves like that.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find a reference for what I used for his character art.
Yeah, I think the superstitions here definitely put a heavier weight on things that are black in fur. So
it would look something like that, which is pretty close to black.
yeah, okay. Then people will actually like go indoors as you pass, like, and if they can't, they'll like pull Wolfsbane out from their pockets if they have it, or like reach to touch some that's hanging on a nearby door or something.
And would Lornak clock why they're doing that?
Give me a sense motive check. You might not. I think it's a lot easier for everyone else to check or to recognize that. I think with a 19, you can put the pieces together for sure. You can follow the people's eyes as they move. They're at eye level normally. They drop down, they see a wolf, and then they jerk back up, and then that person recoils in some way.
I would say that Lornak would be keeping a very close Fang, very close at his side.
Is Fang basically the only one of the group that they're eyeing?
Yeah, I don't think they see anything unusual about anyone else in the group, really.
Okay.
And Gabatha's looking at the people as they pass, and she's wondering, like, kind of what their expressions are. Like, she sees them looking at Fang, but, like, do they look, like, well-dressed and well-fed? Is this, like, a nicer area of town? She's kind of trying to get a lay of the land in that little old granny sense.
Okay. In this region of the city, this sort of northern section, it's a lot more of folk that work with their hands. A lot of people that work at the mill, or are like literal lumberjacks or stuff like that. So it's a little bit more blue collar up here. But I think one thing that you do definitely notice is a sort of general worry on people's faces, like a dread for an upcoming engagement or something, an appointment you're not looking forward to, that sort of look.
While Gabatha's walking, then she notices that dread, and she's just trying to hum, like, one of her skills is singing, so she's just singing like very softly, like a happy little song. that's trying to be not quite so dreary.
Give me a perform sing check.
As long as I don't actually have to sing.
Only if you want to.
Nah, we'll save that for next round. 21.
Yeah, 21 definitely is like some people are going to hear this as you pass, and it's going to bring a little bit of light to their day. The worry leaves their minds for just a few minutes as you walk by, and they get this sort of catchy song stuck in their head for a bit.
Nice.
I'll say as a note, if there's anybody who is looking like they're being particularly aggressive instead of just apprehensive, Lornak would straight up growl at them.
Yeah, I think you probably do find a couple of people that way, that instead of recoiling back, sort of like make themselves big, like more burly folk that are kind of willing to fight if need be. And all the while, probably Fang is taking a bit more of an aggressive stance, just in general, like lowering the head a little bit and
hair on the
ready
back
for
standing
action
up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lornak would just straight up growl at anybody who's looking at Fang the wrong way.
Definitely, that will catch people by surprise. I don't think anyone's expecting a grown-ass man to growl at them.
Gabatha turns and says, "Oh, hush. Now don't be rude. We are strangers."
Oh, they don't seem to like Fang very much.
There. You have a very nice dog. It's okay. And look at him. He's wagging his tail. Regardless of whether Fang is actually
He
wagging
definitely
his
would
tail.
not.
Definitely is not.
Gabatha sees the world that she wants to see. She's also excited because this route takes her past her family that she stayed with last night, so she makes sure to stop in and wave to them.
Yeah, they'll happily wave. I think after a full night with you, like having dinner and everything, they're fully convinced of whatever you told them to be true. So they think you're their great aunt or whatever. I'm very happy to have you in town. Excited to see you.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys eventually get to the mill. At this point, it's still pretty early in the morning, but work has begun to start there. So there's just there's like a sign outside that just has like a picture of wood going through a giant saw. And there's the big wheel that runs through the river that powers the saw, and a bunch of people moving wood around out back and stuff.
Do they notice us as we walk up?
You might get noticed, but I don't think anyone's going to do anything in response to noticing you.
Lornak will turn to Aram. I'm not very good with names. Who are we looking for here?
Okay, out of character, I don't remember the name.
Yeah,
I
I
think
feel
it's
like Aaron would remember, but
Yeah,
Amina?
Yeah,
That was
Mina?
me doing an in-character thing for justifying the fact that I didn't fucking remember.
yeah.
Okay, I was just about to ask the same thing.
Amina Darkfur.
Amina.
I'm looking for Amina.
Habina, where's Habina Fargfer? Yeah.
Are you guys just shouting this at the mill, basically?
Sounds like that's what Gabatha's doing.
Aram's gonna go knock on the mill door.
As you knock, I think a tanned woman is gonna poke her head out from around the side of the building, having heard the knock through the wall, and rush over, sort of like wiping their, like a bunch of sap off their hand with a rag. and then extend a hand out.
Aram shakes it.
Edie Wellendown, you looking for someone?
Yes, we are. Is, who else is around?
Oh, well, as you can see, there's loads around. We're working.
We're looking for my great niece. Her name is, oh, it's so hard to remember. Habina. Anina. Yes. You do know her?
You're Amina's great aunt.
Yes. Oh, well, we're such a big family from the Highlands. I'm sure you probably know. But yes, we're here to say hi to her. You know, just one old granny coming to check in on her dear family. You know how back in my day. And Gabatha's going to continue to rant until she's cut off.
Lornak is entranced.
I think halfway through your story, once it becomes clear that it's not going anywhere, Edie will just go, right, I'll go get her, and she can sort
thank
this
you.
out.
Thank you, Thierry.
She walks around the other side of the building, and you just hear her holler out, Dark Fern, you got's visitors. A few moments later, you see a stocky woman, shaved head, brown eyes, cool brown skin, dressed in sort of like a tight, like canvasy top and like leather pants. Good working clothes, I guess. Comes up front and like her pace slows considerably as soon as she her eyes lock on the lot of you because she does not recognize any of you.
Gabatha nudges Aram forward and says, "Okay, don't be shy, Mr. Captain. You go talk to her. We'll wait for you."
She's your
No,
family.
don't be rude now.
No, Amina, this is your great aunt. She's come to talk to you.
Yeah, out of curiosity, do we believe that?
No.
I mean, Gabatha, you can make a bluff check.
I'm actually trying to decide if I'm trying to decide if Gabatha believes it or not.
But so do I need to make a bluff check to convince?
If you're going to try and
doing?
convince Amina that this is her great aunt, then yeah, you would need to bluff check because this is untrue.
Okay, Aram was more trying to push it off onto Gabatha, because she was pushing him forward, but so I don't know if that means I still need to roll or not. It sounds like yes.
You only need to roll if Aram is going to do things to continue this charade.
Yeah, why not?
I'll say Lornak accepts it as truth. Just no roll needed.
Zahel has no reason to believe that she's lying, so.
Yeah.
Gabatha also thinks we're all part of the big greater family, so everyone's a nephew or a niece.
If Gabatha believes it to be true, then you can make a diplomacy check.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, we'll sort of split the difference between Gabatha's and Aram's check, since Aram's piggybacking off of the initial lie, I guess. My great aunt? I don't think that's right. Are you sure you're looking for me?
Yes, but we don't. I'm so happy to see you, but we just don't. Time goes by and the years fly by. But anyways, I would love to catch up about the family sometime. But I do know that this group of fine leaders with me have something really important to talk to you about. And at that, Gabatha kind of takes a very clear step back and kind of like gestures like ta-da to all of you.
So you were the one that found the body?
goodness. Follow. Let's get away from all them.
She'll sort of motion for you guys to get a little bit of distance from the rest of the mill.
Aram follows.
Little fellow.
Zero
Srel
not-
said
Oh,
we.
right.
Srel
Supposed
said
to
I
be-
had to keep this quiet.
Oh, right. That's the thing.
I guess he hired you lot.
Yes.
Yeah, we're here about the meat bag.
Oh, don't call him that.
We're just really concerned.
His name was Growldrat, all right?
That's a lovely name.
He worked here.
Oh, so sorry.
You know, it's a shame them bone drinkers got him. I didn't know him to be a liar, but I guess it goes to show you don't really know anyone. You know.
Was he a bad guy?
I didn't think so, but maybe he's doing something under the table. I'm not sure.
And where did you find him?
She'll turn her head towards the woods and sort of scan a little bit, and then point at a specific section.
Over there, right on the edge. I was out doing a bit of a walk the other day before work, and he was just hanging there, draped over a branch. Well, what was left of him.
How did you all know it was him? I mean, I'm sorry, but we saw the remains. And Gabatha looks down at the ground very, very sadly, and then says, "But it was really, there wasn't much to see."
Well, Growldrat used to go for walks at night after work, and I couldn't miss that beard for nothing.
And as you recall back, there was probably a little bit tough to make out exactly the shape of it, because it would have been matted down with dried blood and stuff, but a long brown or black beard.
Gabatha is kind of thinking about this while she's fingering some 4-day-old cookies in her pocket that she's considering giving Anina. But she kind of presses forward and asks, "Well, but you said it's about the bone drinkers, but you said it also sounds like this Growldrat wasn't a bad guy. He sounds like a really upstanding citizen of society. So why do you think, what do you think could have happened?"
Well, that's the thing. I must not have known him as well as I thought, because the bone drinkers only go after them liars. And you can't tell me that he didn't have any bones.
Bone drinkers, they're not real.
I wasn't so
I'm
sure
there's another
before.
explanation.
After what I've seen, I can't think of anything else it would be. It has to be one of them. They must be real.
This has
I'm
never
sure it's
happened
someone just
before.
pretending, trying to scare people.
What was that, Lornak?
I just said this has never happened before. Right?
Well, I've only heard the old stories. I didn't think it was something we had to actually worry about, but apparently it is.
When was the last time you saw him?
Probably 2 days prior at work. I had a day off, and then when I was coming back in that's when I found him.
See, Does he have any family in town that we could talk to?
Not that I know.
Anybody who might have known him better than you?
He was a bit of a loner. He didn't talk too much. Never saw him hanging out with friends or anything.
I know the feeling.
Oh, Gabatha goes and pats, just like gently pats Lornak somewhere non-aggressively on the back. Did you find anything else at the site, dear? Were there, I've heard of these in detectives investigating clues. I don't know. Did you see footprints or markings or something?
I wasn't in much of an investigating mood.
Of course.
I tossed him in a barrow and took him to the infirmary. I haven't been back. You can look for yourself.
I'm just picturing in my head how gross that must have been.
Yeah. Stuffing the meat jerky in a barrel.
Oh god.
A barrow.
A barrow.
As in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, a barrow. Yeah.
A barrow.
Even still.
Wait.
I think putting him in a barrel would have been worse, but
Could it be a barrel in a barrow?
Wait, is it wheelbarrow or wheelbarrow?
wheelbarrow.
Barrow. W at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yep. I never knew that.
Today we
Wait, you thought they were called wheel barrels?
I most certainly did.
Okay.
Apparently, barrow is a derivation of the Old English barrow, which was a device used for carrying loads of stuff.
I wish
I
we
just
called
figured-
them.
I just figured the first ones they made were just like made using some old barrels cut in half or something.
They just slap some wheels on it and call
Yeah,
it a
I
wheel
mean-
barrel.
I mean, that would work.
That's valid.
That's
Yeah.
logical.
Can all the wheelbarrows in this world be made then of barrels? Like, can that just be
It's canon.
entered in? It's a request. It's a canon
Sure.
request. Thank
Sure.
you.
I don't have strong enough feelings to say no. So
Perfect.
that's
how I
how
live
they
my
make
We have invented
wheelbarrows.
the origin of the wheelbarrows of this world.
It's these important discoveries that really enrich the world.
Sorry
Alright.
to derail.
But going back to the important part, I feel like he would fit really well in a wheelbarrow when he doesn't have any bones. So
Mhm. Barrow. So it sounds like we should go check out the site where the body was found.
agreed.
Okay.
I can point you in the direction, but I don't want to go back there.
Now, dear, you've done absolutely enough. Here are some of my famous cookies. And she thrusts a few cookies into Anina's hands and says, "And you just rest, and we will get to the bottom of this."
Thanks, Auntie?
No, don't worry. I know it's confusing, but the stories about your mother, anyways. Okay, and like Gabatha is lowering her voice on purpose, like as she's talking, so that it becomes inaudible as she's trying to start to walk towards the site.
Do the rest of you follow Gabatha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're
Alright,
going this way, right?
Yeah, whoever's like last to leave, I think Amina's just going to point again at where she found the body, and then one arm full of cookies, the other arm pointing. We'll stand there and watch you guys leave.
That's good, because I'm sure Gabatha did not pay attention to what direction it was before, so Gabatha's probably going like 30 degrees off. So I also have a question. Who's the tallest person in the group?
Zahel, certainly in the
Zahel.
running.
6
Zahel?
feet.
Okay.
Oh, then not Zahel.
6'1".
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were taller than
Oh.
that.
I thought you were as well.
I thought you
I
were
mean,
like 6.5, but maybe I'm thinking of Welby's character.
Oh yeah,
guess
Malmac
he's
and Percy's are both quite large, but neither of them. are
Yeah,
tall.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
So,
Lornak is probably just slightly taller than.
okay. Gabatha's gonna kind of like squeeze either between like Lornak or Zahel, she honestly doesn't care, but she's like, oh, now remember, I'm a little old lady, because she realizes she's going in the wrong direction. So she's like, so I'm just going to stay close to you all for protection. So she's kind of dropping out of the lead.
I'll say Lornak was probably the one that was at the back. So
Okay.
we'll be like, it's this way, and then point in the direction that we were motioned.
So we'll go ahead and head that way then.
Aram will head that way as well.
Is this this looks more like a stream or a creek than a river?
Yeah, it's certainly not like a really impressive big river. It's just enough to power the mill, really. But there is a small bridge going over it if you don't want to get your feet wet.
We head off toward the woods.
Excellent. So, as you guys start to get close, Fang, I think, picks up a scent before anyone really sees the scene, and will pick up his pace and maybe give a look back to Lornak to see if it's okay to go.
I'll give him a nod and pick up my pace as well.
Yeah, and then he'll bolt off towards the, like, only changing direction slightly, but will end up right at the spot. So immediately as y'all approach, is the most noticeable thing is a big stain on the ground where presumably blood pooled. It's underneath a branch that stretches out from the rest of the trees a little bit.
Does it pretty obviously look like blood?
You can give me a perception or maybe a heal check to identify further. It's a stain of some dark liquid.
It's a 4.
It's wine, baby.
I was like thinking about it, but I'm actually just like looking at one of the trees. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's sap. Oh, it's almost tree sapping season. Oh, I gotta get home.
As Fang stops and sort of motions in the direction, Lornak will run up and take a closer look at the stain as well. Did you say perception for that?
Yeah. Perception, survival, knowledge, nature, heal, all of these things might be useful in this scenario.
Also, just as a note to the group, now that we are out of town, Lornak, who has been sort of shoulders hunched and like very reserved the whole time, now that we're in the woods, he is standing much more confidently. And
How old is Lornak?
He is 24.
Okay,
Very
so
young.
I wasn't sure if he was like a teenager, like, or if he was an adult. Okay,
Yeah, he's like pretty young, but
pretty young, but like a full adult.
yeah.
How old are Aram, Zahel, and Hyundai Elantra?
24 as well.
That's a
Ooh.
good question, and let
Young
me
one.
stall while I get to my sheet.
I think
Elantra,
Elantra's like
346.
yeah.
Okay,
Aram is 30, so he's young, but not super young.
and so Gabatha absolutely like targets in on like Hyundai Elantra, who's like significantly older, and she's like, "You young whippersnapper! I don't know how you keep up. Oh my gosh, this is."
Yeah, Elantra's at that age where, for a full-blooded elf, that big, huge middle section of the elf spectrum where they look exactly the same for like 400 years' time, Elantra's like smack in there. So they just look like an adult, I guess.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to detract, but I know he had to hop off. But since we did know it was a dwarf skin, like, was he here, or did he give any sort of like emotional reaction at that?
No.
All right.
Oh, I don't remember. Do fetchlings live human length years, or are they a little longer or shorter?
I believe they're very similar, at least.
Similar? Okay.
Let me check real quick.
I also don't remember if that's something you left the same or changed, since I know you changed some of their background lore.
Oh, they live like twice as long. Never mind, I lied. Not twice as long, but
So
notably
30
longer.
is younger for a fetchling than it is for a human. Essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I think they mature at the same sort of rate, but
Okay,
you've
like,
certainly
I
got.
have longer to live than
Yeah.
a human 30-year-old.
You're
Okay.
further from middle age than a human 30-year-old certainly is.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think they might actually mature just a little bit slower if it's saying adulthood's at 20 years versus 15 years for human.
Oh, you're right. I did write
Oh.
that.
Okay.
That means it's true. So
Fact.
More cannon.
But yeah,
listen, I wrote a lot of those species articles. At one point, they just blend together.
yeah, I got a 13 on the perception check for that stain. Means I rolled really fucking low.
Okay, with a 13. I mean, I think 13 is good enough, certainly, to identify that it is blood. You certainly can't make a definitive statement as to whether it is human or animal or dwarf or whatever, but you've seen enough dried blood in your time to recognize that much.
So he would communicate to the group. So we're definitely in the right spot. Or at least something bad happened here.
What time of the day is it? Sorry.
It's still morning.
Zahel will look to see if he can find any sort of tracks or anything nearby.
Okay, give me a perception or a survival for that.
Let's go with the bigger number.
Yeah, Elantra will pipe up. A body draped over a tree. No animal around here kills like that. Okay, a 28. That's going to give you lots.
Jeez.
There is so the ground is too hard to leave footprints. But you can tell that there's no real sign of any sort of struggle that happened here. There's no like drag marks. There's no like big impressions in the ground where someone would have been laying down at any point. Or like in the grass. I think you can also notice some patterns in the blood pool or the blood stain that would indicate that it was from dripping from above and not that it was like blood because he was murdered right there, like it didn't pour out of his body and then they hung him up. It dripped out of him once he was hung.
So it looks like it got him from the trees then, not just took it up there.
Maybe he died somewhere else and they just brought him here.
Gabatha looks up, overhearing their conversation. Is there anything to see?
There certainly would be a little bit of staining on the branch. Probably even Yeah, the branch might be even broken a little bit. Like it's still holding on, but it had significant stress on it for many hours.
How high up is this branch? Like ground level or like a couple feet up?
It's probably like 8 feet off the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, something around there.
In this forest, these trees, are they like massive trees or your standard? I like, what type of forest are we looking at? Like, thick, dense forest of old trees that are 100 feet tall?
They get pretty big. It's not quite like redwood situation, but these are like pretty tall, like evergreen pine sort of things. So the bigger ones get to be, or the older ones get to be quite large.
We said we already looked for tracks. Did you mention in that description that there wasn't any indication of something being dragged?
Yeah, Zahel is pretty confident that there's that nothing was dragged through here.
Okay.
There's enough indicators that are missing to be certain that that didn't happen.
Okay. So is our only clue the branch, basically?
Yeah, it seems like the body wasn't dragged or things like it seems like it was killed up in the trees. If the
Are
the
there
blood originated there.
do any of the nearby trees have blood on branches?
You can give me a perception check to find out.
Hey,
Oh,
Love to.
Good
Jeez.
job.
lots of 20s being rolled.
Yeah, no kidding.
you looking up at the branches. There's no indication that, at least you don't see any sort of like similar sagging to any of them. So it doesn't look like anything heavy was in any of the other ones.
So
You don't see any blood in any of the other
Like
ones.
they jump from tree to tree or something.
Yeah, it's not looking like it.
Okay.
It looks kind of like he just stood there and died. And then got pulled up into the tree or thrown into the tree or something.
Oh.
Gabatha is extremely puzzled.
Lornak's gonna climb the tree and get it right up next to the branch. And then have a look around at the trees around it to see if there are any branches that are broken, noticeably broken.
Yeah, you get up in there and it's easy enough to climb, but there's no real indication that something else was in this tree. And actually, I think as you climb out further onto the branch, you start to notice it like faint cracking noises. Like if you go out much further, it's going to break fully.
He'll just look down and say, I can't. There's really nothing more up here, and I can't get any closer. He'll drop down.
So I guess the sort of collected information from that is, had this guy had all of his bones when he was, bones and blood and stuff when he was thrown into that tree or put into that tree, it probably wouldn't have held his weight.
Hmm.
Is it like Is there any sort of very magical vibe coming off of here?
Let me make a quick check for Elantra, since Elantra literally sees magic.
Look with your special eyes.
Yeah, as Elantra looks around, certainly they don't notice anything.
What about the monocle?
Who had the monocle? Does Elantra have the monocle?
I think
Elantra has
Elantra
the
has a
monocle.
monocle.
Yeah.
What would you like Elantra to point the monocle at?
I didn't make it that far in my line of thought.
I'm
Kind of
pulling up
open
the
like the
sheet for what
general
that even
area.
does.
Okay, so for those unfamiliar, the monocle has within it the spirit of a, well, sort of half of the spirit of a an alchemist that is now dead.
We killed the other half.
Yes, but the first half was dead before they got there. And so it has sort of like the analytical mind of this alchemist. So it can, when you point it at things, it'll tell you what it knows about that thing, but it doesn't do like inductive reasoning, really. It just sort of is an encyclopedia of information.
Probably.
Would it have been able to identify the meat sack as a dwarf?
Potentially.
Well, we
Huh,
figured
just
that
curious.
out anyway.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Probably, if we're gonna use it, point it at the blood then. Right.
Okay. So yeah, y'all discuss what should be done, and Elantra points the monocle at the blood stain. And they'll relay the information they hear in their head from the monocle. Essentially, that's not enough blood for a dwarf, a full dwarf. Meaning a lot of it was removed before it was hung up there.
Okay.
How deep? So this is right at the water, or is this going? I know it's at the edge of the woods, but like, where is that crossover point?
It's a little ways away from the water. So you're, let me get to the right thing so you can actually ping. You're like up here.
And like right on the edge of the tree line though.
Yeah. So the water is getting a little bit closer to the trees up in this direction, but there's still a pretty good distance. Actually, I suppose one thing that I didn't take into account was y'all totally do see the wheel mark from the wheelbarrow.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And did it come from come from town and then just loop back?
Yeah, it essentially came from the mill. Basically took the path you took to the mill, and then would have come down like this way. Actually, maybe a little bit more like that way, because she went at outskirts around to
Right.
the
to keep it
infirmary.
secret. Yeah.
And sorry, just checking. How did and I'm not sure if I'm not remembering. Did like Anina know to come out here, or like was just randomly in the woods searching for skin sets?
What she told you was that she goes on walks before work sometimes.
Ah, okay.
So she
Yeah,
came out early in the morning,
Okay.
just walking around, and she also said that Graldrat used to take walks at night. So
Saw him, went back, got the wheelbarrow, then did the thing.
yeah.
She actually goes on her walks with a wheelbarrow. You know, never know what you
Yeah.
might
Yeah,
find.
you never know
Oh,
what
oh,
you'll
really?
find.
Barrels, that type of stuff. You gotta be prepared.
Shit. I'm kind of lost on where to go next then.
I-
At the moment.
As you guys wait here, there is a off in the distance. You see a crew of people with axes headed your direction.
Okay. High alert.
How
Fine.
big is the crew?
Like not like battle axes, like wood cutting axes.
It says, "Ooh, local neighbors, hello!" And she's waving.
It's 4 people.
I'll say
Okay.
both Lornak and Fang would have dove into the nearest like bush or whatever to try to hide.
Meanwhile, Gabatha's using like 2 hands, like, "Oh, welcome to the woods!" Like she's hosting them in her forest.
Yeah, as they approach, they'll have a sort of confused look, not expecting to find anyone else out here at this time of day. I think Fang at least is unseen. Lornak, they might
That is
notice.
just sticking out of the bush.
Yeah, they might notice Lornak poking out of the bush. What are y'all doing out here? Oh, what is that? Pointing down at the stain on the ground.
Oh, that's
Y'all
just
kill
tree
an
sap.
animal or?
Oh wait, people aren't supposed to
Except-
know, right?
Correct.
We're supposed to keep it really hush hush. Oh my god! Did you? Well, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Gabatha, and did you know? Did you know about these trees and maple season? Oh, and Gabatha's like that little, like she's like trying to wave to and basically suggest that it's maple syrup.
Oh, yeah, we know lots about the trees. We cut them down for a living.
Oh yes, I know, and it's well back in my day, those beautiful axes you have. I want to tell you about the axes we used. They were called rocks, but I don't want to take up your time here. What are you working out here in these woods? And like everything Gabatha's doing is trying to like distract them from the big puddle.
Is anyone going to try and get something done while she's holding the attention of this crew? It could just
I'll
be
say-
to leave if you want.
I'll say that Fang will have tried to circle around to the other side of the group. Blank.
Okay. Taking an aggressive posture.
Yeah, but he's hopefully hidden while doing that.
I think Aram would have tried to like melt into the trees and disappear.
Give me a stealth check for Aram.
Sorry, I just had to reach around the cat to click the button. It's like, let me at my mouse. Get out of here.
I think Elantra's still standing there behind Gabatha, trying to wait for an opening in the conversation.
Gabatha notices that and says, "Oh, have you met my good friend Eli? Eli, come on up here. Oh, look at these. They're just taking a walk. Let's find out what they're doing in these woods." So she's trying to pass the rope.
Oh, yes, there was a dead deer there. That's why we stopped.
Oh, yes, the deer. Oh, it's just my old memory these days. But yes, it was a deer. So sad.
Right. We have work to do. You two. Are you leaving, or? I suppose you can watch. I don't think it's very entertaining.
Where have you been cutting trees down?
Oh, we go.
And he's like points to a section of trees that look like they have some fresh it's not too far in. They have some fresh cut downs, but it's not like a fully cleared area yet.
We do it in sections. We're working over here for now.
Notice anything unusual with the wildlife lately?
With the wildlife? What do you mean? Like birds?
Well, just we just found a dead deer here. It was pretty mangled. Just trying to play it safe, keeping an eye out.
One of the other crew will pipe up and take that sort of like mischievous, hunched over stance with his both arms out. Be like, "Ooh, what if it was one of the bone drinkers that got one of the deer? It's that time of year." And there'll be eye rolls from the rest of his crew.
From the bush that Lornak is still in, he'll go, "Did you guys know Groudrat?"
Yeah, they'll all turn to look at this head pop out from the bush.
And then, like, immediately after he says it, he'll try to slink back down into the bush.
Groudrat. A dwarf guy? About yay tall? Big black beard?
Head pops up. That's the one.
Is your friend okay? Or why is he in
I
the
think-
bushes like that?
Don't you mind him. He's a bushologist. He's doing important work in here in these forests, examining the bushes and making sure that they're growing really nice into those big trees that you cut down. Like, very scolding tone.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know Groudrat well, but we worked together once or twice. Why? You know, he was supposed to be at work today. Is something wrong with him? Is he sick or something?
I just came into town and I was told to find him.
Give me a bluff check for that. Groudrat's a weird person to come into town to find. Oof.
Oof. Not my best. Not my area of expertise.
All right, natural 19 on the other end, so.
You came into town to find a lumberjack. And a friendless one at that. Well, a loner, I guess.
I am too.
Right. Well, I only see him at work, and he didn't come to work.
And then he just goes fully prone on the ground.
Is there since Gabatha has obviously fucked up quite a few of the lies already in this 1 minute interaction, but can she get a sense for how, if they're hostile or if they're just more weirded out by this weird crew?
Sure, give me a sense motive. Oh boy.
Excellent.
One thing
Yeah.
I'm good at, and
Goodness,
that's
what is
hard.
up with the? I'm the
I was
only
gonna
one
say-
not getting natural 20s.
Hey, it happens. Yeah, you read this guy like a book. He is here to cut down trees and is not accustomed to anyone else coming to the woods other than, people that work for the mill. And is definitely a little weirded out by all of Lornak's behavior, but also by the questions about some random dwarf.
Okay.
But he definitely doesn't seem like he came for a fight or is particularly interested in one.
Okay.
And I think most of the rest of the crew is either disinterested or reads very similar.
Okay. Well, then Gabatha kind of seeing Lornak, I think, laying on the ground just fully in the bush.
Yep.
And Aram is gone. And where is Zahel? Like, beside me?
Yeah, he's not gone.
Yeah, I think Zahel and Elantra are just standing there.
Okay, and Elantra too. So Gabatha is just going to try her best to look really sweet and, put away her scolding tone. She's going to say, well, gee, I so appreciate what you all do here in the woods, and we don't want to take up any more of your time because we are appreciative of the work that you do. So let me see what I have right here. And she's rifling through her bag, and she pulls out a few more scones and says, here you go. Just have a wonderful day. And she smiles and she's kind of like clearly stepping back, like she's making to return towards the town.
As soon as Lornak sees her moving, he's just at a full sprint.
Yeah, I think the one guy that you've been talking to most is probably pretty apprehensive to take a scone, but a couple of the other crew members are like, fucking scone. Yeah, no, I'm 100% here for breakfast for free. And so they'll grab whatever you offer greedily.
It is absolutely not worth it in this moment, but I do have a spell called Beguiling Gift, which is just where I give someone a gift that they don't want and they have to take it.
Have you not been casting that this entire time?
I know.
No.
If it were a cantrip, I would use it, but
That's
we
amazing.
we gotta save it for the really important moments, people. When I also have poisoned eggs, so I plan on maybe making
Yeah,
some
that's
poison
the
stones.
combo right there. Yeah, and as Lornak bolts out, they'll for sure turn their head, and that's when they clock the wolf that is circled around behind them.
Yeah, and Fang will be right with Lornak as he's taken off.
Like, what the hell? Whatever, they're leaving.
And then they'll heft their axes back up onto their shoulders and head into the woods as y'all depart. So where are you headed?
So as the rest of the
I
party
got
catches
no
up,
idea.
Lornak
Yeah.
is in another bush as the rest of the party approaches.
Aram, you up for any late night walks tonight?
Yeah, I think a late night walk sounds great. The late night air is really good for the lungs.
Yeah, Gabatha already has it in her mind that she's like, I guess we just wait till tonight, take this Aram fellow who's real sketchy and just leave him as bait and see what happens. Like, this has absolutely gone through her mind as the most efficient process.
How am I the sketchy one and not the wild, the kind of wild guy with the wolf? How is that not
I
sketchy?
mean, he's his own type of sketchy, but not the type of sketchy we're looking for, right?
Yeah, different flavors.
I also feel like Gabatha found out somehow from all the family members who offered her housing. Like, she found out that they all randomly had old muffins in their pockets, and so she's secretly a little pissed at Aram.
So wait, we said that Gabatha? Did you end up going with Gabatha believes that they are her family? Is that where you landed?
That Gabatha believes. Oh, that's not up to me.
Yes.
I think that was for the specific instance at the mill. I don't know if that applies to everything.
Okay. Is there a general theme to this behavior? Do we know yet? Because apparently the bone drinkers go after liars. I'm just saying.
Look, Gabatha does not lie, all right? Gabatha just does believe all of us are connected. So, and Gabatha sees no issue with...
You're all
no
one
claim.
big family.
Oh, and she will put her hands on her hips and tell you about, in her 78 years of life. So, But I think Gabatha like marched out maybe just to the river and then turned around and said, "Okay, fellas, look, I know that you asked me on this adventure for my expertise, and I'm here to give it, but I need to know what the plan is. What do we want to do?"
Slowly out of the bush. I don't think we have one.
I don't think we asked for your expertise. We just thought you might be kind of useful. But anyway, do we want to walk to kill some time and then come back at night?
I mean, unless we want to walk around town and ask for, talk to people, but I don't know. I mean, especially where we're trying to keep stuff
Trying
on
to
the
be
down low.
secretive.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like coming back at night with some bait besides me might be useful.
I'm wondering to Dolph, looking at your map, is there any of these places that are not obvious that you can explain like what they are? Like, I don't know what Bound to Please is on the map. I'm just kind of curious what are the other things besides just like the inns that we've heard of.
Sure. So there's obviously a lot more like shops and things around here. I just named a couple of that you might maybe find a use for. Botanica Magica, magic shop, or like a apothecary type thing. The Fearless Beaver and the Bottomless Barrel are both taverns. The Hammer and Tong is a blacksmith. Rock's Claw is another magic shop, but less like plants focused. Bound to Please is a bookstore.
Very different.
And
what I
the
had in mind.
Kindred Bank is a bank.
And then Monument Hall is
a theater.
okay. That's the
Oh.
other.
Oh,
there's
I
two
assumed
theaters,
that was
okay.
like the town hall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Wait, what did we say the Fearless Beaver was?
The tavern.
That's a tavern.
Gotcha.
As the suggestion of going around and talking to people comes up, Lornak's just I'm not great at talking to people.
We could go to one of the taverns and see if we can get any more. See if there's any more background to this bone drinker legend.
That's a good idea. There's nothing
about
else
the-
we can do out here, I don't think, for now.
That's about the only thing I can think of. I guess we could also ask around to see if the dwarf, whose name I've already forgotten, has if we could figure out if he's been up to anything shady.
Rowdrat is the dwarf's name.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Rowdrat.
Ask a few more places, and then, I mean, again, Gabatha doesn't like Aram, so she's absolutely ready to sacrifice him.
Aram got her on this job.
That's true.
He would
Zahel
even
doesn't
be
mi-
here.
Zahel doesn't mind Aram, and he's still willing to sacrifice him for this job.
Aram's ready to leave. He has not, unlike some of you, Aram has not actually signed the contract yet.
True.
That's true. Also, Aram has other income streams available to him.
Mm-hmm.
I
He
feel like
does,
there's
actually.
the verbal
Aram
agreement
has-
there, and the goblin's gonna rat you out if you don't go through with it.
Aram has, he is not necessarily exclusively tied to the Seekers if he doesn't want to be.
Ooh, mysterious.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right, bluffer.
It's not my fault you haven't read my backstory that's on the internet.
I think the idea of going to one of the taverns, like maybe the seedier one in town, and maybe we can also then, if we want to kind of keep Aram, we could just find a different person to sacrifice instead. But or maybe they would know more about. Or
You saying this out loud?
I love the idea of just like going and finding the shadiest person. It's like, hey, we'll pay you money to go night walk for us. To just okay, you sit here while we just watch.
Can we watch you walk around at night?
it's called exposure. So
Aram says that he is willing to be the bait for half of everyone's gold on completion of the contract.
Oof.
nope.
No.
That's a no.
Nope.
Then that's that.
Okay.
Actually,
so we
that
gotta
wouldn't
find
matter
someone
to
else.
Lornak at all. He'd be like, okay.
We have to find someone shittier. But if we also go to like the shitty tavern, we can also see if the dwarf who just died was hanging out there.
So which is the shadier of the two?
The Fearless Beaver is certainly shadier.
That name speaks volumes.
To the Fearless
Let's
Beaver, I
go to the
guess.
beaver then.
I
the-
would assume we would
The
wait a
hairless
little
beaver is what I heard. The hairless beaver.
Fearless.
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 I like mine
Hairless beaver. would
Very different
speak-
connotations with that
speak
one.
very many different, very different words.
better. Yes.
I'm guessing we wait a little bit before going though until maybe later on in the evening, so it's more of a.
Oh yeah,
crowd.
it's like
It'll be seedier if we wait.
it's like
Yeah.
midday right now. So
You don't get the seedy people at that time. You just get the sad.
yeah, you
people.
catch the lunch crowd.
Just get
I
the
guess.
drunks.
The
the day
lunch,
drinkers.
the lunch seat.
Yeah, so what can we do to kill time for now? Oh god, we don't really
Are
have
y'all-
the other leads.
Take a
Are y'all
nap.
standing out in a field talking about this? Or are you walking and talking through the city, or what's the situation?
Say this whole conversation happened when we're walking back to the mill.
Okay.
Yeah, like from the tree line.
We're not talking about potentially bribing someone as bait out in the open streets.
Good to know.
Are there performances happening at these stages right now? Or at the theaters?
Monument Hall has stuff running all day. The Silver Shimmer mostly runs at night. That's more the like after work sort of place.
Out of character for a second. Well, not yeah. Just to pause. I'm gonna have to step away for about 15-20 minutes to walk the dog real quick.
I think we can probably
reaching a point.
yeah, I think we could probably
Okay.
end before you have to get that.
Yeah, that works.
So because we're coming up on 4 hours.
Okay, we can hold out to then.
So you are. What do you guys want to do to fill time, or do you want to fast travel
I think I'm just gonna
chronologically?
Yeah, let's
do that
maybe just-
thing where you just kind of take a nap in the middle of the street for Saraz to go past.
Yeah,
That
takes
sounds
a nap.
right.
little timey-wimey, time
I
jump.
mean, why me juju?
Time jump to the
Okay.
evening when we show up at the Fearless Beaver.
Yeah. So, y'all fill your day somehow, puttering around town, and when it starts to get a little bit dark and people are getting off work and starting to head to a place to get a drink, you go to the Fearless Beaver.
Lornak and Fang probably hang outside. They don't go in.
Gabatha also does not go in.
Aram goes in.
Zahel will also go in.
There's people here.
Does anyone look particularly seedy?
All of them.
I mean,
Or actually, more likely, is there anyone who looks drunk but not too drunk? Just drunk enough to like make them talk a little bit more freely.
give me a perception check to see if you can find someone that meets your criteria.
I rolled a 3.
You find someone that is just too drunk. Like you couldn't really tell from afar. You get up close to them and you start trying to talk to them, and it's barely words. They got here early.
Well, Aram failed.
We'll say it's a dwarven woman that's been in her cups for like 2 hours already.
Well,
So-
you have a good time, and Aram leaves her.
You too, babe.
Zahel will go up to the barkeep and ask if he's seen. I'm sorry. What's the name again? I'm terrible with names and evil
Growldrat?
limits.
Grout.
Yeah, that. If he's seen them or any of his associates around, I'm looking for him.
We'll say it's a halfling man behind the bar. Growldrat. Dwarf?
Yeah.
About yay high, big black beard.
That's the one. Where can I find him? Or his associates? Got some business dealings.
Well, I can't say I ever noticed him with any associates. But, now that you mention it, I would expect him here around this time. I haven't seen him in a couple days.
Do you normally don't? So he doesn't normally hang out with anybody?
Well, no one consistent. He would just play, play cards or dice with whoever was playing. Bit of a gambler, they'll say, like covering half of their mouth.
Do you know? Could you put me in the direction of anyone he's played cards with recently?
They'll like lean back and around, trying to get a good view of who all's here. Back in that corner. Sort of pointing back to this round table back here.
Okay.
I think he played with a couple of them earlier this week.
I will leave a gold piece for his time, and we'll head that way.
Cheers.
So we'll head over to the table and sit down, make himself his own spot, and then ask the table. So I hear you guys have been playing cards with Growldrath.
Yeah, what's it to you?
Well, let's just say I'm looking for him. Let's just say he's been playing cards with me too, and he's not too great at it.
Several of them laugh. You got that right. I do always like when Growldrat sits at the table. He's losing more than winning, for sure.
So I take it I'm not the only one he owes stuff to?
Oh, I think he's settled up with me, at least. You guys? There's a nods going around the table or blank looks for people who have no idea what the fuck is going on.
So you all know where I could find him, or anyone that would have more information on him? He seems to just disappeared.
He lives right down the road from me, speaks up a human woman.
Huh. And where might that be?
Now you want me to tell you where I live for free?
No. I want you to tell me where Growldrath lives. It may not necessarily for free.
Open palm hits the table.
Well, okay. What would be a reasonable amount to ask for information like this? Like, just out of character, real quick.
As adventurers, you guys are in a fairly unique financial situation.
Exactly.
So,
let's just say 15 gold pieces. Would that?
That would be a
Holy
lot
shit.
of money.
Okay, let's go
Oh
with
my
5
God.
then.
So nice.
Let's go with 5 then.
Yeah,
What about a scone?
I was gonna say 1.
5 would certainly like cover this person's drinks for the rest of the week.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll go with 5.
But not make us get mugged later on.
Yeah, so you drop 5 gold coins in her hand, and her eyes go a little big, and then she closes her fist quickly, and then just puts her, poker face back on, looks up at you. Give me a second. I didn't name any of these streets. Clarity Avenue. House 4.
Okay. Well, I'll let you all get back to your card game then.
Oh, you're not going to play 1 or 2 or 3? Seems you got the pockets for it.
I got other business to attend to.
Shame. She stuffs her closed fist into a pocket and then returns to her cards.
Go back to Aram and let him know. Well, know that he's bad, has a gambling habit, and now I know where he lives. But other than that, nothing.
I wonder if his house would have any clues.
I'm not above breaking into it.
Me either.
Well, I already knew that.
Well, don't assume.
Is there anything that Lornak and Gabatha might have just seen outside, since neither of us went inside? Anything we would have noticed in this kind of part of town?
Yeah, I think so it definitely got dark very fast. There's this being the first night of the Fells, there is no moonlight whatsoever. And there are like basically everything is closing up except for the taverns. You see a number of people like draping more of these sort of wreaths with like various protective things on them over their like street carts if they have them. Or like they'll like sprinkle salt in front of their shop door before they close up for the night. And people are generally moving towards. They're moving like out, so they're going towards either end of town because you're sort of in the center right now.
And they're moving generally like north-south.
I'd say they're actually moving more east-west.
Okay.
So they're moving out towards the sides. And certainly you guys spend enough time around the city throughout the rest of the day. You would have picked up on there's little like there's like maybe like town criers or the equivalent, and like signs and stuff that are saying there's going to be like bonfire sort of celebrations at a number of spots on the edges of the city. There's not enough space in most places to do it anywhere else. So it seems like a lot of people are heading there.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. They're heading where exactly?
To either the eastern or the western side of town.
Oh, okay. So not like a particular spot in east or west, just to east or
Yeah,
west.
yeah. There's a couple of spots. I'd say like 3 probably, where there are going to be bonfires. So actually, you could probably from this sort of intersection, you could look down either way as you guys are standing outside and see some of the bonfires start to get lit. There's these huge roaring fires and people are gathering around to busy themselves for the night in a spot where there's some light because they don't want to sleep.
Okay. So-
Have the rest of the group come back out of the tavern now?
Not
Yeah.
yet. Before we do, did we want to ask anything about bone drinkers or anything like that, or do we think that? I mean, would so the bone drinker like myth and all that sort, is that just a local thing, or is that like across all? Is that everywhere for the fell?
Give
fells.
me a knowledge local check. Or I guess diplomacy if you want to just ask people. 20 knowledge local will certainly do the trick. That is, it's a legend that originated in this general area, like the settlements that line these woods, this forest. Probably not Clawford specifically, but it's definitely started around here, and it's spread some, but it's not. It's certainly not like a ubiquitous story.
It's more like a regional thing.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
somewhat regional, but it's pretty close to this city.
So do we think?
So these
that
people would
we-
have all grown up with it.
So do we think? I mean, do we think there's anything more to learn from the legend by talking to people, or do we? I mean, it seems most people don't believe it, and most people don't even believe in it. So are we just gonna get the same old, that's that old children's fairy tale type of thing?
Yes, and Kyle or the group?
The group, I guess, mainly you, since you're the one in the bar with
Okay.
me.
I feel like we will get the repeat of the tale. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like most people believe it.
Yeah, I mean, and if there was actually examples of that, I mean, yeah, I guess the only thing we could really think of is like, oh yes, some old family story of someone being taken type of thing. Be the only thing I could think of. Okay, then I
Yeah.
think we're good.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that-
I mean, so far of the people you've talked to, Amina is the only one that seemed to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
Well, and there was the one guy who joked about it.
Yep.
As the party comes out, then Lornak would sort of peek around whatever corner he was hiding behind, and just say, "Hey, there's fire over there. Big fire."
That's intentional.
Oh,
It's on purpose.
okay.
On purpose and controlled. It's okay.
We still go see what's up.
So it's like completely dark out now, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's no like street lamps or anything like that.
Actually, I would say in a city this size, they're not on every street, but certainly on some of the bigger thoroughfares. This street here is like the main line that runs to either exit to the city. So certainly on that road, there's going to be some lamps. So probably the folks that were sitting outside the tavern as it very rapidly got dark would have seen someone go by and light those.
Okay, so but it's not like we need to light a torch to see our way or anything, right?
You can get by for sure without a torch. I mean, it's not going to be ideal, but there's enough light poking from various places out of people's windows. Some people are genuinely walking around with torches or lanterns or something, so there's enough other light that you can make it do.
Actually, we have a lantern that just operates as a magic lantern, but it operates as a lantern, right?
Yes, it does actually just do lantern things normally.
Does the light it give off when it's just doing lantern things? It's just a normal flame, right? It's not the
Mm-hmm.
purple glow. Okay.
This is
It's
good
only-
for our people without dark vision, right?
Which is why I took it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which
wait,
should be
so-
most people here, I think.
Dark vision.
No, I'm no dark vision. We have 2 humans,
Okay.
so
Yeah, my Fang has dark vision.
Okay.
I don't. But yeah, so as they come out, like I'll say that Lornak would have already lit it up and would have been sort of holding it.
Okay. Are y'all headed towards one of the bonfires or up to the woods, or what's the plan?
I mean, we found out where he lives. If we want to go check that out.
That's true.
and it's also nice and dark. So
I'll say
Less
that street that they gave you is this one.
So right by where Gabatha stayed.
Yes, actually, I think Gabatha probably.
She stayed.
I think Gabatha stayed on this other street on the opposite side of that little like block, but this is probably his house.
so not very far at all then.
And we could easily go there and then go to the bonfire.
Gabatha would love a chance to check in on the family again. So she's all for. She thinks it's very wise to go and see if we find anything before going to the bonfires.
Okay, we'll head in the direction of his house then.
All right. As y'all begin heading towards that house, moving through the streets, past people that are headed perpendicular direction, for the most part, everyone give me a perception check.
Oof.
Wow, look at this crew. Except Zahel.
Perceptive
Yeah,
bunch.
except for me.
Little old lady for the win. They see everything.
She sees all.
As you walk down, everyone who rolled above a 20.
Oh man, I'm stuck with Zahel.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mm.
Out of the corner of your eye, see a faint red light down one of the alleyways.
Shit.
Do any of you turn to look at it?
Gabatha definitely does. And
Lornak
she
would
says,
definitely
"Well,
spin around as well to look.
gosh." She tells the two who didn't see it, "Boys, listen up."
I think Elantra
really see-
turns as well. Lornak, you see that faint red light, and as you turn to look, it goes away, and quickly enough that you sort of have to second guess whether you saw it at all. Elantra's in a very similar boat, but sees a little something extra. Gabatha, you see a silhouette in the shadows. You're able to pick it out. There is someone back there right before it disappears, and you recognize this as this silhouette was like 9 feet tall.
Ooh.
And as they disappear, maybe 20 feet down the street, a scream. Someone sprinting through the street, shouting their head off. People elsewhere in the street beginning to scream as well, running away from something that you can't quite see yet. And then the first person that was screaming and running hits the ground like a sack of potatoes, unconscious. And that's where we're going to stop for today.
Oh shit!
Oh,